down to earth for the listeners in the Porthole to Justice, and what I need to, like, even bring down into simpler forms, like third grade level forms, so that we can really tune in the masses into what's happening here.
What's happening is we are being warred upon by a very old form of slave trading commerce that has driven the world's economy for thousands of years. But that's also how all of our banking and our systems of UCC and commercial law have been evolved in reflection to our common law, where the man is able to commit mano to mano. You and I can commerce freely. We don't need a state. You and I, Amelia, can make a contract, and we can exchange money between us, and we don't need the state. We can do it in hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars, and we don't need the state. This is the first time in the history of the world that has been possible. Do you understand that? The first time in international, all over the world commerce, you can do business with Dubai and sell millions of dollars of stuff. Okay? And typically you're only subject to local taxation or banking transactions. We only need the state to protect the means of commerce, right? They're not supposed to be gaming the commerce. But
they are. They're gaming us.
I understand that, but that's what's driven these psychopaths to make children. They're
putting bets on us whether we're going to kill ourselves or not.
Right.
They're marketing our children. They're it's
sure type.
Okay, look.
What they're doing is it's not their fault necessarily. We're the ones that respond negatively and positively to monetary, physical trafficking.
No. The commodity.
It's a positive. It is a
bio. Lotus. Seriously.
Oh, I'm not talking about that. That's criminality.
They're out of control.
I'm talking about where government. What is the purpose of government? I'm talking about so the people can understand when government has gone afoul. Government is supposed to be protecting the ability for all of us to transact in commerce and all have due process and all have equal protections.
But we're not having that.
I understand that because we haven't made the state, which is commercial now, realize that we can sue the crap out of you because you're suretizing your bonds with our full faith and credit. And I've got them in a position where I say, if you don't follow the statute and the law, I'm going to junk your bond. And I'm going to revoke the full faith and credit on this entire cause of action. I have like 15 causes. And each one of those causes has 5 bonds minimum. Okay? So,
everybody, and I said this at the top of the show, Lotus is an oath minister. No,
I'm public minister. I'm a public minister under the common law is what I would probably be considered, a public minister. I go and do things for the public good at my expense. That's what I do.
The greater good. Not only that, you have a personal case which involves a minor child.
Right. I mean, Clay is the child of my wife, right? And he's my godson. But I met my wife in prison. Okay, so and I was behind the scenes, and the whole concept of human trafficking, this state, the concepts of government that we are allowing to perpetuate right now, are allowing human trafficking as a form of evolving negative capita, because it's really hard for me to explain.
They're actually preying on women that are more vulnerable in the system, in the jails, ladies and gentlemen.
Women and the children, because women make the capita through purveyance of flesh. So in common law, the woman owns that vessel because it's made of her flesh. So they attack the woe and the child to pollute the title of the land and enslave the child and the mother. If you enslave a child, you enslave the world. It's that simple. So we've gotten to the point where they've perfected, because of their vile nature, this ability to commoditize, because they're not just like pederasts and stuff. They love to guess, to think that they can assure our knowledge,
Well, And
it's a part of the gamble, I think. It's the gamble.
It's a perversion of the law is what it is.
Well, it's a perversion of the purpose. I don't even think... Here's what I'm going to tell you about my background on this.
I really see this, and the more and more that I do this work, and the longer
it's
that I do it
perversion.
for...
There's a third party over here that we don't know about. I'm going to tell you that right now. Like, there's more than just three. Like, you're really kind of unsure. Like, I'm always torn between whether the Esquires are on our side and have been playing a really nasty game of sting. It is a sting, I promise you. It is a sting, and it's in this way because it's written in trust and treaty law. So every time something happened in the law that was pivotal, like the Tona Amendment, which is the creation of the Fourth Crown, when they did that, it's like a stock option. It's like, here's a buyout. Like, we're going to set aside this argument, and we're going to suretize this under this, and then we're going to start anew, and we're going to create a new. Like, they capitalize the argument. It's like derivatized capita, and it's actually fractured banking. But the courts are bonding surety based upon legislative act surety based upon our full faith and credit, saying that we are suretizing that our legislatures will bring forth particular laws that can apply in particularities and that will always be in line with the greater constructs of substantial rights. And we guarantee this physically with monetary capita, and you can bond against it. And the courts are bonding 5 times off of that, okay? So people, and they are banks, okay? They literally they're a kind of bank they're trust banks. They're suretizers. They're amortizing our value in an argument of commerce on whether men can have moral capita. Except the people who made the machine are disgusting Satan worshippers and pederasts.
Well,
but only,
that's what I was...
But only those people would be driven, you have to understand, only those people would be driven to be able to... Because men really are prone to wanting to be not chaotic. And so there are people who want to be able to point to a law and say, I can rape a baby. And we're like, no, you can't. So they've been driven to create this capacity to purchase them.
They have cultivated an environment within
of commerce
and commerce where they can provide and thrive with this perversion and also pervert the law. And
because they're not the ones suretizing the act, so we're letting them suck off us.
Not only that, for those of us that are, out there, not going with the flow and not giving in things that I find so beautiful about you, Lotus. And we've cultivated this friendship. Mm-hmm. We've been working together. And we have the same sort of vision, and we're going towards the same sort of goal, if you will. And you have a higher mind. We're both existentialists. You and I both.
Right.
We identify.
Have to be to do what we're doing.
Identify in this manner, and that's why we. But we're not just talking about it, folks. We're not just on the show. I'm not just on this show profiling it. I am gathering people together like Lotus, like Chris Hallert, Well,
you also, are collecting claimants. You're collecting people's stories. I mean, people send you their stories. That's one thing that, we only have 2 things that we can do in this world under the law of God, and that is bring the law and bear witness. And that's really our only power. And God has a belief that if you bring the law and bear witness, that men are innately good, and that's why he gave us free will. So the failing, if the system is producing evil perversions, it's because the people are not bringing the law and bearing witness to crimes. Because that's really the only power if you believe in the true mysticism of Christ, because we are not here for effecting wars.
And what I'm trying to do in the what I'm trying to do in the Porthole to Justice in a very simple way that everybody can understand is bringing together people like you, Michael Gill, Buddy Wayne,
It's a big
Daniels.
picture.
I'm bringing everybody together so that we can dumb it down to a level to where we reach, our message reaches the masses.
That's why the Bible is so good. That's why the Bible is such a good teaching method for this for me, because I can teach people this paradigm using the Bible. You know, I just did a new video this morning on the Sermon of Daniel.
And Lotus, and folks, no, and I want to say this because I've had you on the show so many times, and we've never even mentioned this because I didn't even know.
What?
You have your own show.
Well, yes, I do have my own show. I have a YouTube channel. Yes, but we have such wonderful conversations. We talk such about things.
You have Lunch with Lotus, which is a huge hit on YouTube.
Yes. Well, the first show I did was the reason why I called it Lunch with Lotus is because I needed to create this channel where I actually have conversations with people, and I actually had lunch with Karen Hudis when I was in D.C. one time, and served her. She professed to be a World Bank attorney and handed me a business card. And I'm like, oh, well, here's a good time to serve you. So I gave her a pleading that we had just put into the District of Columbia, and basically served her as the attorney for the World Bank, the writ of conspiracy and my claim on the United States of America. And she had no idea what I was handing to her, right? So it's a very amicable lunch, and we talk about fencing, and it's real fun because we've got this self-professed Ashkenazi Jew who's supposedly railing against the machine. Like, it's a great lunch conversation. And my friend Lamont, who at the time was working with the Moore organization, I don't know if he still is because I've explained to him he has way more rights as an American than as a Moore. So just by, it's what you claim to be is really the title. Being an American is a title in law, okay? An American big C citizen, not little c, United States citizen, an American Republic big C citizen is a power and a position in law.
In itself.
As
a whole.
There's all these terms floating around. There's all these terms floating around. There's the in propria personam, which is the international mask of selfdom in international claims and equity. Our law.
I love this du jour title. I love it.
Yes,
I love it. And let's put this out there for President Trump.
Well, he is du jour. That's for sure.
Say it one more time.
So he's good because he's a du jour. He's one of the first du jour men who came from the Republic. Because the men you have to remember, the people who made this country were people just like Donald Trump. Okay, a whole bunch of really wealthy white guys from Europe came here, put their own money into the capita of a corporation that has brought freedom to the world, okay, and brought our ability to affect commerce without a state. And all we need to do now is tell the state, you need to step the fuck back because you are way past the line of law. And they've done their job, okay? That's all we need to do. But the only way we can do that is by bringing the law in writing writs, witnessing what they do and do not do, and whether they follow their own rules.
Yeah.
Have a job. They are banks. These courts are here to guarantee, and this is where you're like, do we hate them? Do we love them? To guarantee whatever. No, it's true. They are converting. Our paradoxical, philosophical, metaphorical construct of law from Yeshua and all this crazy Buddha. I mean, the jumble of all religions, and they're saying, okay, this is what we think they'll make money at. That's what their job is. Their job is to go.
Not just that. What makes Christ so unique?
Well, Christ and his whole crew. The whole crew makes Christ. You can't have Christ without his disciples, because that's his jury of his 12 peers who have borne witness to the crimes against him. Uh-huh. So they brought forth the jury decision of whether Christ was guilty, and it was categorically, in all respects, by the 12 jurors of his peers that he chose. He says, I chose you. I have no favorite. Remember, he chose his jury, 12 men who knew him and were from his neighborhood and understood who he was. Because, men are flawed. You're not supposed to be judged by other men that don't know anything about you.